Fight fans, this is Kurt DeVille with Counterpunch Boxing News, and I got some new news concerning Bernard the Executioner Hopkins. It's funny that Hopkins, he's never shied away from the limelight, but this is the first time that I actually heard him give his opinion about the Tyson Fury and Deontay Wilder fight that people keep talking about. It's just not me talking about it. It's been talking, we've had the Lomachenko fight. We've had other fights. We have the Canelo fight this coming weekend, but people are still talking about the Wilder versus Fury fight. So surprisingly, Bernard Hopkins had this to say about the fight. He said that he thought Deontay Wilder won the fight, and he thought it was unanimous of all decisions, and they got it wrong. He said the knockdowns were enough, and they actually put him in the lead, along with the punches that Tyson Fury threw were ineffective. Also, he did congratulate Radio Raheem, because this was a seconds out interview, on how he stayed poised with, when Deontay Wilder did get outraged with him and lost his shit. Okay. Now, let me counterpunch what Bernard Hopkins said. Bernard Hopkins is very experienced. He's a very intelligent man, and everyone's entitled to their own opinion. That's why I'm stating his opinion on this channel. I would disagree. I would think that Fury did most of the effective punching. Sure, a lot of punches he did land didn't hit Deontay Wilder flush, but a lot of them did. And, the punches that he claims that are ineffective were effective, because if they weren't effective after, especially the rounds where Fury went down, which was rounds 9 and 12, Fury always caught him with something that didn't necessarily drop him, but did get his attention and, in fact, buckle him. So that's my counterpunching on that. However, what I wanted to tell you about what else he had to say, he had that with a twist. Surprisingly, he said throughout all the heavyweights, Anthony Joshua is by far the one that will prevail, that will beat Deontay Wilder in a fight. Deontay Wilder is not the most fundamentally sound. He is not the most athletic, and the most gifted. That is Anthony Joshua. So the funny thing about it, he thinks Wilder won the fight, okay, by unanimous decision. See, normally when someone has that type of make that type of judge call, or in favor of Wilder, it's mostly an agenda attached to it. Now, as far as Bernard Hopkins thought that Wilder won, but thought that Anthony Joshua would beat Wilder, and that's just strange to say. So it's so spectacular that and unique, rather, that fighters and different people have different opinions on what they saw. So a lot of people have Fury winning. A lot, now more and more people that sprinkled here and there are saying that Wilder won. Okay, so regardless of which, when you got a fight that is competitive, at least when some strange things or exciting things happen in that fight, why not run it back? That's the exact reason the fight should happen again. And I'm glad the talks are happening and they are in good standing with each other, so they can possibly get in there and do it all over again. The only thing that puzzled me about Bernard Hopkins was what he said about Joshua. But, if you want to look at it politics wise, Bernard Hopkins is a golden boy promoter. He is co-promoting with Oscar De La Hoya. He co-promotes Canelo Alvarez. What is Canelo Alvarez on? DAZN, right? Who else is on DAZN? Anthony Joshua. So, people could read into that. I'm not sure. But if I was going to reach anywhere, it would be because of that reason. However, when Bernard Hopkins does give his hypothesis about, and his educated guess on how fighters are, he's doing it for a particular reason. But a lot of times, if he's biased, he'll go ahead and tell you he's biased. But in this, I don't think he really has a pony in the show, because his main concern is Canelo Alvarez, not a heavyweight. Okay, because they don't have any heavyweights really that I know of, not Golden Boy, that has a pony in that show. So I think that Bernard Hopkins, gave his account. A lot of people look at knockdowns or deal breakers, and a lot of people don't, including myself. But I just thought it was just, unique to see someone else's opinion, especially like that, because he could have left Joshua's name out of that. We didn't ask him about Joshua, but he was like, no. But the fight that will happen, I think who would prevail would be Joshua. He's just more fundamentally sound. I'm leaning towards that, but you always got to give Deontay Wilder a puncher's chance, because if Deontay can punch you with the speed he has, he can take anybody out. You know what I mean? He just has that gift. So anyway, you guys tell me what you think about Bernard Hopkins' um, prediction. Of course, please subscribe. And you guys been Counterpunched. Peace.